want to share with you about why I've become an ordained minister. It's because there are so many ways of going about being a part of the mushroom landscape, we'll call it, because it really isn't an industry. And I personally did not feel aligned with becoming a therapist. I just don't find that taking such a natural substance that belongs in nature, that you can feel the same way that you do inside of four walls that are usually just very bare and plain and no art and nothing to explore within yourself from them. So I went on a little exploration online and was trying to dig around, finding ways that I can still contribute my resources, my experiences, my personality to help those out there that are looking to establish themselves to another level with the use of mushrooms. And lo and behold, a couple of years ago now, I was on YouTube and this video popped up from an organization called Psanctuary, which is a church. I don't even consider them a church because really there's no religious dogma. It's just like a spiritual service, rather. And from what I learned from them is that they actually have a protection from the RFRA, which is the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. And this provides them protection to be able to use mushrooms as a sacrament. And the more I got to know them, I felt very connected and aligned with what they were doing. So I went ahead and jumped on becoming an ordained minister with them. And it's been really fun to kind of get to know everyone there and understand where they're coming from and what their perspectives are and what they bring to the table, essentially. But my position is still the same, where I feel like we can really enhance our emotional intelligence, our abilities to be able to be resilient with whatever life throws at us, because man, oh man, can we not predict what can come around the corner for us. But what we can do is how we react to the situation. Do we stumble and fall and stay down from it? Or do we brush ourselves off and learn from what happened and make ourselves stronger from it in the end? And that's where I stand. I'm Eastern European, so I was in a place where I grew up with no acknowledgement to emotions or feelings, and that only lasted for so long, because there came a point in my life where everything just felt like it was crumbling down and nothing was working out for me. I came from a really hard, difficult, challenging background of being homeless with my mom and dealing with a lot of just government resources and struggling to make it for ourselves, really. And I just wanted something different. I wanted a better life. I wanted an easier life. And I always admired those that seemed to get things very easily to them. And there's people around me that just really didn't see the same vision that I had, or that they would say that they did, but when it came time to do the actions that are necessary, they kind of just lost their faith with it and just kind of scoffed it off, saying, oh, that's not meant for me, or that's not possible for me, that's too much work for me, basically. And I am not that person. I am going to put myself into the deep end and swim as hard as I can and try to make it out of there with the metal, basically. And I'm here for those that feel aligned to that too, where they're just like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing all the negative naysayers out there, and I know that there's a better possible future for myself. Doesn't matter what age you are, what kind of background you have, it is possible for anyone to do this. And at this time, I know The Secret, the book, came out, and it was just like perfect timing. Oprah was talking about it, and I started reading it. I was like, whoa, this is the kind of life that I always visioned. Didn't know if it was possible, but I was like, I have this deep down feeling inside of me that it is, that there's an energetic wave connection that we have with others and the whole world as a whole. And I just was happy that I was starting to build those building blocks to get myself there. And through that, I also came across the beautiful mushrooms. And with the mushrooms, when you take them and you have the intention of trying to figure out who you are, where you want to go with life, and trying to achieve these goals, or even figure out what the goals are that you're trying to achieve, mushrooms can help you get there. I mean, any plant medicine can really help you get there depending on how you intentionally use it. But to see it is the hard part. To believe it is even more challenging. And to put the things into action is like, it's incredible if you can do that, but a lot of people struggle with that. And with the use of mushrooms, I've been able to do that. And I've seen countless people be able to do this too. And that's why I am here to provide this guidance for others out there. So, hey, you can go ahead and do mushrooms on your own. There's nothing holding you back from doing that. I actually provide a free guide for you to be able to download to understand the basics of mushrooms, to get a resource on a very high quality resource partner that I have to access your own mushrooms, and you can go about doing it on your own. However, it may take you a little bit longer to figure out how to get to where you want to go with the mushrooms on your own, but nonetheless, you can do it on your own. And that's the beautiful part about this. However, if you want to collapse time, if you want to learn from my mistakes so that you don't have to repeat them on your own, and to get to the places that you want to get to so much faster than I ever was, then you can work with me on a one-on-one basis. We have group settings, but also one-on-one chats with each other so that you can level yourself up easily, faster, and kind of just like have me as a soundboard, basically. Kind of figure out, is this the right thing that I should do, or should I consider something else? And not saying that I have all the answers, but I can help guide you to where you can find the answers for yourself. So that's the beautiful thing. If you want access into the group program, you can just comment below Micro 101 and I'll be able to get you the link to be able to access that. There's also the opportunity to come with me on a retreat. It's going to be a spiritual ceremony where we take a macro dose of mushrooms to be able to explore ourselves in a safe and secure setting, but also with more enhanced guidance to be able to level yourself up into whatever direction it is that you're trying to go to in your own life. But we're here to talk about the RFRA. And what RFRA stands for is the Religious Freedom of Restoration Act. Now I have some notes because I don't have everything memorized, but basically it was enacted in 1993 and it was allowing individuals to freely exercise their religious practices without undue interference from the government, because really, why should the government be interfering with our religious practices? RFRA provides a framework for protecting individuals and religious groups that use entheogens such as psilocybin mushrooms as sacred sacraments in their spiritual practices. Courts have recognized that certain plant medicines like peyote and ayahuasca are integral to religious ceremonies under the RFRA. This precedent paves the way for similar protections for psilocybin mushrooms. The many indigenous and modern spiritual traditions view psilocybin mushrooms as sacred tools for healing, for self-discovery, and connection with the divine. Psilocybin is often used in ceremonies to promote spiritual growth. emotional healing, and communion with higher powers, aligning closely with the criteria of a sincerely held religious belief. RFRA ensures that religious practices are respected while maintaining public safety. It does not permit misuse or endangerment of the public, creating a balanced approach to honoring sacred traditions. Individuals or organizations using mushrooms as a sacrament are required to follow responsible guidelines, including proper handling, education, and safe ceremonial contexts. Cases like Gonzalez versus O Centro Espírita Beneficente União de Vegetal, 2006, upheld the use of ayahuasca as a religious sacrament under RFRA, setting a precedent for similar cases involving psilocybin mushrooms. This ruling demonstrates that sincere religious practices involving entheogens are protected under RFRA when properly presented. RFRA empowers modern spiritual groups and ministries like Psanctuary and others to practice their beliefs freely, including the use of psilocybin mushrooms for spiritual exploration and community healing. This protection cultivates a cultural environment where individuals can reclaim ancient traditions and integrate them into modern spirituality. Advocating for the recognition of psilocybin mushrooms as a sacrament under RFRA involves educating policymakers, legal professionals, and the public about their spiritual and cultural significance. Building awareness about responsible use and the profound benefits of these practices can help dispel misconceptions and reduce stigmas. I encourage individuals and organizations to support religious freedom by learning about RFRA and its application to sacred mushroom use. Seek legal guidance and community support to ensure compliance with RFRA and state laws when establishing or participating in ceremonies involving psilocybin mushrooms. If you're interested in joining me on the spiritual retreat, make sure to comment retreat down below to get on the wait list. Because there is limited space available, I only allow 6 people at a time. I only host them a few times a year. This 2025, I'm only hosting 2 events, so that's only 12 people in total that can access my retreats. So make sure to sign up for the wait list so that you are made aware of when they happen. So if it is the right time for you to come, if you're getting that calling to visit sacred mushrooms, then you will have the opportunity to join me, and I'd be so excited to have you there. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate for you to stick around and learn some more with me about mushrooms.